next ride I'm going to be talking about is Goliath. Now, Goliath is a super awesome hypercoaster. It is about 250 feet up, and it is amazing. So the first drop, it has a bunch of airtime, and the whole time when you're dropping down that drop, it seems like forever, and your stomach is kind of crunching, and you're like, ugh, but it's really, really fun. And then that tunnel in the bottom just gives you a lot of G-force, pushes you down in your seat. And then it does a little turnaround and some more airtime. This ride has a lot of excellent airtime. And then you, after some airtime hills, some curves and stuff, you hit the mid-course brake run. And then right as you're leaving the mid-course brake run, it turns you sideways so slowly. And it feels like you're just going to fall out. But then it drops and goes through some helixes. And there's these last two helixes that pull so many Gs. Now, when I went through these last two helixes, I almost blacked out. Everything started getting dark, and I never thought I would say this, but it was kind of awesome. Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about reviewing as most rides as I can at Six Flags Magic Mountain. The first one we are starting off with is Full Throttle. Now, when I rode Full Throttle at Six Flags Magic Mountain, I was kind of nervous at first. Pretty much the world's second biggest loop, I think. You're probably thinking that, like, excuse me, you're wrong. But this was a very awesome coaster. It launches you at 72 miles per hour into a 100-foot loop, more than that. And the hang for the next ride is Riddler's Revenge. Now, this is a B&M stand-up coaster. And I know a lot of people don't like stand-up coasters, but this was my first stand-up coaster, and I thought it was an amazing experience. A lot of people don't like it because they say it hurts their, some of their areas. Like, it hurts a little bit, but I didn't find it painful at all. You're not actually really standing. There's something that goes in between your legs that's kind of like a seat, but your feet are extended all the way out, standing as seen right here. And it's a really fun ride, super cool experience. It goes extremely fast, and there's this one part where you get a little airtime hill, and it's really, really fun. A huge loop, this ride was amazing. Sorry, don't pay attention to my volume. So this ride was absolutely amazing. I loved it. It turns you backwards. It's a coaster made by Aerodynamics, and it is a 4D coaster. It is super awesome. It tilts you backwards, and it's super duper cool. The restraints are really comfortable, and at the very top, there's this little dip that you go through, and because you're laying down, when you go across that little dip, you're leaning backwards and then upside down super slowly. And then you go and it turns you straight down it's just awesome. You don't know what's going on. You never know what's going on. It's just super cool. It flips you upside down a bunch of times. And it was a super awesome. And I didn't find it rough at all. It was amazing. So it's got to be the best aerodynamics coaster I've ever ridden. For sure. So the next ride is Apocalypse. Now, this is a pretty old ride. I think it's still around. I don't think they've torn it down yet, sadly. Now, this is one of the rides that I don't personally like. I found it to be pretty rough, and it was extremely loud, especially in those tunnels. Your ears just kind of fell out. Your ears just die. It was rough. It was not a very comfortable experience, in my opinion. It was pretty bumpy. But it is, of course, it's kind of fun. Every roller coaster is fun, but this wasn't just the best one. Next, I'm going to be talking about Tatsu. That's what they always do in the station. Well, sort of. They used to do that. I don't know if they do it anymore. But this was definitely one of my favorite rides here. Maybe even my favorite. It was super awesome. Now, you first start out like a regular inverted coaster, but then it tips you forward, and then you're kind of just like laying against your restraints. But the restraints, they have two restraints. One this little foam pad chest restraint thingy, and then something to hold on to. And you're just kind of laying on that restraint thingy forward, and it's super fun. Then you go down a drop, and you're kind of upside down, but it's really fun. Your head is just looking up like, where am I going? And then it has a couple of 0G rolls that are pretty cool. You kind of, instead of going upside down, you go kind of straight up, and You're kind of thinking, you kind of can't see the whole time, which makes it amazing. So then it also has huge, huge pretzel loop, and it is amazing. So now is Scream, which is a B&M floorless coaster, and this ride is really fun. It had a couple of moments where it was kind of headbanging, but I barely got any at all. It was extremely fun. It had some good moments of some airtime, especially on that first drop was just insane. Um, it was very unique drop, to be honest. It kind of turns you sideways and then drops really steeply, if that's a word. Now one complaint is I found the restraints kind of close together, but that's probably, again, this was my first floorless coaster, so I don't know if all of them are like that or if I'm just complaining. But my elbows were touching my dad's elbows, which I found pretty uncomfortable. And we were kind of touching elbows, and then I couldn't get into a good position. But I found the ride to be very, very fun and very awesome. It was really fun, though. Now, the last ride I'm going to be talking about is Batman the Ride at Six Flags Magic Mountain. So, this ride, it's not really anything different from any other B&M, B&M invert. It's pretty much the same as others. I found Silver Bullet to still be better. Silver Bullet has got to be the best inverted coaster I've ever ridden. This one wasn't nearly as good as Silver Bullet and Knott's Berry Farm, but it was still pretty fun. It was it was really fast. Some good G-force. And what was really cool about it was it took video of you on ride. We didn't get our video because you had to pay $10 to get a video. So that kind of sucked. But it was really cool seeing myself on video. I've always wanted to film on ride, but that's not usually allowed on theme parks. And plus, I saw a guy's phone go flying on Superman. Went flying up in the air. At least my brother saw it. I did not go on Superman because I don't like the thought of it. So yeah, this was just like a regular B&M inverted coaster. Now, one ride that I really wanted to go on that I didn't get to go on was Twisted Colossus. It had a long line all day, and we're like, you know what, we can't do this. But I totally wish I could get on it. But I'll try to do it next time, because we got year passes, which is pretty cool. So thank you guys so much for watching of my new video. Thank you. Goodbye.